Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kay. Now, as promised, I will be doing a trilogy on virtual interviews. Last week I did virtual interview tips. Definitely check that video out. This week I'm doing the pros and cons to virtual interviews because you know there's always pros and cons to everything. So we're going to be talking about that today. But before we get started, I want you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up because I'm really trying my best to be more disciplined and post every single Tuesday. And I want you guys to curse me out in the comments if I don't post on Tuesdays because I need you to hold me accountable, okay? So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned to this video. Alright you guys, so thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Now let's get into the video. So like anything else, virtual interviews has its good and its bad. Okay, now I'm going to start off with the good stuff because I know you guys probably want to hear the bad stuff, but let's start off on a good note. Alright, so number one, the pro of having a virtual interview is that you're comfortable. You're at home, you don't have to worry about traffic, and you know, if you're like me, you don't have to worry about being late. That's something I deal with on a daily basis, okay? I'm always like fighting with time, so it's perfect because once you set your stuff up, your computer's good, you don't have to worry about trying to speed through traffic trying to get to this interview to make a good impression. So that's why virtual interviews tend to be a more comfortable experience. In addition to being comfortable, the second great thing about virtual interviews is that you don't have to overspend. Okay, a lot of times we spend so much money on bottoms, tops, shoes, like we have to get the whole outfit, but now you really don't have to. You don't have to worry about shoes, and you know, like I said, definitely wear some bottoms because nobody want to see all that. But you can wear any bottoms. Like you can go in your closet and get something old. You don't have to spend money on unnecessary items, so that is definitely a pro of virtual interviews. Alright, last but not least, the great thing about virtual interviews is that it alleviates the nerves, okay? Maybe not completely, but sometimes when you have to meet people in person, sometimes that build up, it could be a bit too much, especially if you're like a shy person or you're an introvert. It could bring on a lot of anxiety. So the good thing about virtual interviews is that, you know, you can see the person and it's not, you know, close contact and so personal. So that is amazing, and I think that's like an introvert's or a shy person's dream. So definitely a benefit of virtual interviews. Alrighty, so now that we've gotten the good stuff out the way, let's get to the bad. Okay, so first things first, nothing is worse than a bad connection. Okay, not just in person, but also over the internet. Okay, because when you have a bad connection, sometimes there's really nothing you can do. And it's really hard to control technology sometimes because sometimes your internet will be working perfectly fine, and then of course when you have a very important interview it chooses to act up. So that's like the bad thing about it. Of course, I told you guys that you can use an Ethernet cord. That works sometimes, but there are definitely outages sometimes that you have no control over. And the bad thing about it is that you may have to postpone that interview and reschedule, which sucks because then you have to go through the same process twice. So bad connections are just terrible. Alright, so for number two, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I really go by vibes and I let my spirit lead me. So if my spirit is saying go to this place or work at this place, run away from this place, I kind of just listen to what it's telling me. You know, I'm one of those people, I'm really big on energy and, you know, I need to feel a place out before I actually start working there, because I may not vibe with the people there, and I think that's very important. So it really sucks if you do a virtual interview and the person's probably nice and everything went perfect, and then when you actually go there you're like miserable because you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I visited this place before I started working there, because maybe you're miserable, because some people can put on a really good show. So I think it's always good to be in that environment and take a tour. I mean, in my situation, when I started my before I started my patient care tech job and I was in the application process, I had 2 interviews. I had one at this one hospital, that was my first interview, and I just knew, okay, I'm not working at this place. Like, I went there, I was excited about it, but then the vibe was off. I didn't really like the energy of the people there, and I'm just like, no, this is not for me. Even though I was desperate, I just knew I wasn't gonna take it, because I'm like, okay, that's not for me. Now, I had a second interview at a different hospital, and I was like, okay, my spirit lit up. They were like, okay, this is the one. So that's the one I went with. You know, the manager was nice, the place like was sparkling clean, because, you know, I was like 5 years old at the time, and the hospital was just overall very nice. Everyone was saying hi. I'm like, okay, I'm not used to this. So the energy was just so much better, and you know, I worked at that job for a long time, so it proved to be like a good decision. So I definitely just go based on my energy. If my spirit is leading me somewhere, that's where I kind of go. So if you're like that kind of person like myself, this could be like a bad thing, you know, if you're just meeting the people over the computer and you're not getting that opportunity to do a tour. Okay, so number 3 is that people that are not good with computers will have a very difficult time. Now, if you're older and you're just not good with technology, this could be, you know, a really bad situation for you, because now you have to really stress to try and figure this out. Okay, especially if you don't have younger people in your life that know how to work this stuff. It could be a really, really bad experience, but you know, there are definitely resources out there, so definitely use YouTube or other resources to get prepped for your interview. Alright, you guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video on the pros and cons of virtual interviews. If you can relate or you have something that you want to share, I want you to put your experiences below, and I look forward to reading them. And make sure that you do subscribe, because I will be posting a video next Tuesday on a bad virtual interview experience and what that looks like. So you do not want to miss that. It's a skit. It's very funny. I'm going to show you guys my little comedic side. Alright, so enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.